And WAGNN stands for
We ain't got no name.
We ain't got no name. We ain't got no name. We ain't got no name. No name.
What's up, everybody? We are back for episode 11 of WAGNN.
Hello.
Once.
You was... Why the pause?
Once.
like Beyonce. We are here today to, in the wake of many of the horrific incidents that has happened over the past months. We're going to take it further. These incidents that we're discussing is nothing new to the Black community. These are things that has been happening for centuries to our young men, our husbands, our fathers, our sons, even our daughters. And we just felt that it was necessary to open the discussion and clear some things up. You know, WAGNN is about talking about people who doesn't have a name. We ain't got no name. And today we are going to bring light to those people who have been shadowed by nonsense, whether it's covering up true facts as to what has taken place, as to why some of our brothers and sisters have been murdered. We are talking truth about history and how long this has been going on. And we're also challenging those listeners who may not be part of the minority community, who may not have a clue as to what is going on. We are here to enlighten you, and hopefully you can gain some clarity as to why people are reacting in this way. We are not giving anyone permission to downplay what is going on. We are just here to enlighten you and open up the conversation so you too can understand. So, given the light of everything that's going on, we've had George Floyd, who was murdered. We've had Ahmaud Arbery, who was murdered. We have Breonna Taylor, who was murdered. And these three incidents have taken place in 3 different states within the United States. We have 3 different situations where some of these victims were in their own home, or in their neighborhood, or just coming out of a store. And it appears that no matter what happens, whether if an African-American male or female is walking down the block, it's a problem. Whether we are trying to bird watch in Central Park, that is also a problem. Whether or not we are playing in our children are in the playground, that is a problem. If we're just doing the simple things that people are able to do, that's a problem. And this is why this issue of WAGNN is so important, because the simplistic ways of life are now becoming hardships and death sentences for people who look a certain way, Black. Let that resonate. Okay.
I like how you did that whole drops mic speaks.
There it is.
That's good.
Because a lot of us are upset,
Angry,
frustrated,
hurt, and tired.
sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. So on today's segment, we have a gentleman here who is going to shed some light about what it means to be Black, a Black man in America. His background is unique. However, no one cares about that because of his skin color. So we're going to ask him to weigh in a little bit later as we continue to have this conversation. One of the things we talked about is that we wanted to make sure that our message was clear. When we talk about racism, we're not talking about all Caucasian people. We're not. We're talking about those who have a particular view of Black people, of hate, second-class citizenship, or they consider us as 3/5 of a person still. We're talking to those people, okay? And also, as black people, it gets us upset when we hear, oh, we have one black friend, you know, and that gives you the card to say whatever you want. Well, all of us have friends of many different cultures, and we're hoping that many of them are able to hear and let in what's going on, and it resonates in their spirit that this is wrong. And I've been hearing some things from some of my friends who are of different cultures, and they have reached out to me. They asked me if I was okay, and that was a very sweet gesture, and I appreciate it. At the same time, there's some who just don't have a clue, y'all.
They don't, and they never will.
No idea.
That's the sad part. Those are the ones that have the justifications for everything. The justifications is what pisses me off to the 25th power.
Not the 30th?
Not the 30th, the 25th.
Okay.
I'll stay at the 25th.
Okay.
That's what pisses me off, because clearly you see what's going on. Let's take Mr. Floyd. Clearly you see what's going on. We all saw what happened. Why would you come and ask, well, if he would have just did what he was supposed to do, the man complied on all levels. Every angle of a video that I saw, the man did not resist arrest or anything. So where are the justifications coming from? Why is everybody trying to find a justification on why he died? I don't care if it was a fake check, a fake $20 bill, whatever it is, it did not warrant a death sentence.
Not at all.
Period.
No.
There's nothing to justify.
Now, I jog around neighborhoods all the time because of my track and field background. I can't imagine someone chasing me, because I'm going to look around and I'm going to throw my hands up like, what's up? Why are you chasing me?
It's sad. It is just sad that we constantly have to walk around watching our every move.
Everything.
Watching our every move. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live like that? Yet you still don't understand why things are burning down. It's not about the oh yeah, this is an opportunity. It's not about the opportunity to go and burn things down. You're missing the whole point. When we did it quietly, you ain't listen. You still ain't listen. But now that things are burning down, everybody got something to say.
I think the issue with it is that, and I put a post on it about it on Facebook. If you break it down to an individual level, and someone punches you in the throat right now, how are you going to respond? If you walk up and you see someone beating on your mother, father, grandmother, cousin, how are you going to respond?
It's over.
Now, if it happens repeatedly, how are you going to respond? Eventually, you're going to snap. Every Sunday they air snapped episodes on Oxygen. You see what happens with repeated abuse. So now we're talking over 400 years of abuse and murder.
This is documented.
And nobody can see how you can get to this point of just rage and frustration.
They tell us to forget about it and get over it.
Not to mention the fact that the stuff that we burning down ain't ours anyway.
Exactly.
So we ain't burning down our houses.
No, because we going back home.
Yeah.
But your business?
We not burning down our houses.
Well, let's talk about that business piece for a moment. Because one of the things that I struggled with was, well, what do you want? What do you want us to do? We didn't ask to come here. We came here and we did what we had to do. We worked.
They forced us here, and we still did what we had to do.
We still did what we had to do. Then I'm putting up my fingers, quote unquote, free us. We don't have any place to go. It's not like you giving us ships to go back home. We don't even know what home looked like anymore. Okay? Then,
but they did. They said you can stay here and work for pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on a dollar. That's still slavery. You just call it something else.
Indentured servitude.
Indentured servitude. And then, because we didn't have a place to stay, you started instilling sharecropping, where we can live on the land. We allowed to have a shack, but most of our earnings went to you in the little pieces that we were able to have. We kept for our families. And remember, you took away the right for us to read and be able to do mathematics, which is a strong point of ours. You take that away. Now you cheating us. So what we're supposed to have, we're not really getting it, because now we aren't able to mathematically break it down.
They
So
took
now,
away families too.
yeah, okay, well, I didn't even get that.
Families.
Whew.
They tore up our families too, and then just telling us, "Oh, why don't you get over it? It's not in this day and time." But you don't understand how deep it runs.
What they did worked.
It's
Yeah.
embedded.
What they designed worked.
It's
Yeah.
embedded in us.
They research us. They stake us out, and then they come up with a plan to continue the puppeteering. And the message to our community is that we need to wisen up. You know, where people are 3 steps ahead of you, you need to be 10 steps. And that's what our forefathers said to us in the very beginning. That's why we always have to be the best, or we have to study harder. Or if you're studying, you got to make sure you stay up till 9 a.m. in the morning while other people are sleeping, because you have to show and prove yourself to be better. However, that took a turn because now we're better, but for the wrong reasons.
Right.
We're better for the wrong reasons. You flossing when you get a little bit of money, but then that money doesn't go back into your community. That money goes to things that depreciate over time, and you still left with an expensive car, but it's old and ain't worth nothing. We're now impressing people who don't care about us. You can have the biggest diamond, but for what?
No, I kind of like diamonds.
I do too.
I was like,
I do too.
I like nice
But I can
things.
afford a diamond.
Well, yeah, you don't live above your means.
Okay then.
You stay
But
within
that's
your
my point. You're doing things for the wrong reasons. And when it comes down to this particular topic, we have to wisen up a little bit. We have to regain our strength, regain our knowledge, and regain the power that our ancestors gave us. And we haven't lived up to that for a reason. We'll get into that too. So I just want to introduce Just Music into the room. It's just necessary to have a black man in this podcast so he can shed light as a black man, as a father, as a son, and as a husband. There it is. Just Music, what are some of your thoughts about this situation that's going on?
What's up, ladies? Thanks for having me.
Hey,
How you doing?
I see y'all looking good. I'm over here drinking me a little drink just because I have to soothe my brain a little bit, because it's definitely a tough week. You know, we always see what's going on in the world, and know what our ancestors went through. Our parents, some of our grandparents, great grandparents. We saw some of the struggles they faced, and we just never really realized that we were gonna be in the mix of it as well. This week is not one of those things that I would have said I would have grew up and talked to my children about, because I felt like we were somewhat past it at this huge level. Like, we knew racism was around, we knew it was in the shadows, but I didn't know it was this huge. So it's just a crazy week. But in general, man, being black in America, being a black man and a black woman in America is tough, because it doesn't matter what we do, our skin color is always on blast.
Thank you, social media. Now people can actually see what's been going on.
Right.
What we've been saying isn't a lie.
Right.
When you see people paranoid about the cops, it's not a lie. And this is not even a crime. Like, I remember, I'll tell you guys this story. I was out waiting for my husband to pick myself and my eldest son up. And we were just waiting outside in the yard, doing nothing. We joking around. And this blacked out Impala came and just stopped in front of, it appeared to be, it was my house, but he was on the other side of the street, so I didn't know who this was. All I know, the windows was blacker than the
legal limit.
the legal limit.
Yeah.
And I just saw the window roll down, and I ain't gonna front, I just saw a Caucasian arm. And I said, oh shoot, come on baby, let's go. I didn't know who this person was. I didn't know what they wanted. And I took my son and myself, and we went in the house. And I locked that door, and I peeked out the window. If it was nighttime, I would have blacked out all the lights and peeked outside the window to see what it was. Guess who it was, y'all?
Who?
The darn delivery man for Domino's. I felt so stupid. But then again, I had to check myself and be like, no, don't feel stupid. This is the climate that I'm in. And I went in survival mode.
It's sad that we have to live like that. It's sad that we have to live like that, to even think like that.
And that's where Just Music is saying. It's like, he never would have thought so. That even, I never even thought I would have to bring my son inside. But I got so nervous. Like, nah, not today, not this one. Baby, go inside. Come on, I'm right behind you. And we waited until my husband showed up with my other son. And that's when we came outside. At that point, I knew that I had something to fear. It was that moment. I knew I had something to fear, and that scared me.
I think it's just crazy all the way around the box how people of color, period, have to live in this country. A country that was built, a country that was stolen.
Let's do that. From the
Stolen.
Native Americans.
Stolen, you beat people up, you robbed everything,
Killed people,
all right? You're a bunch of immigrants coming in here,
kill people, all your diseases,
all of them,
Yeah.
STDs.
You despise immigrants.
Smallpox.
I just don't understand. I don't understand the views. I don't understand the government. I don't understand anything about these United States. I really don't. I really don't. I always say this and people look at me like I have 5 heads, but I always say it's sad that I feel like a foreigner in the land that I was born in.
But it's almost like, and I hate to be, I'm always like, why are people surprised?
Yeah.
This is a country that when we came here, they did not see us as human anyway.
Anyway, you're right.
So it's like, why are we shocked?
I'm just thinking like,
Should we be further ahead? Absolutely.
but haven't y'all got over it already?
No.
400 years, you
here's the thing
still
is-
mad?
No, because if you think about it, if they get over it, then you know what they got to acknowledge? They got to acknowledge everything that they did wrong in order for them to get over it. They got to acknowledge that they're not smarter than us. They got to acknowledge that this
Right.
country can't exist without us. And
Right.
and that would mean that you have to hand your power over because this country can't run without us.
Because you need us.
That's so no, they can't get over it.
Right.
It's easier to just keep these people down.
Yeah.
Not
they've been
today, though.
successful.
Look, not today,
Oh,
though.
man. The revolution.
It's just something different about this last death that the world got to view. It's just something different about this movement.
It's something different about it, and it's like people are getting caught in blatant lie.
The difference is with this death in comparison to, because we've seen a bunch of different deaths on TV, on video, right? But with this death, they have no excuses. And that's where the drama come from. Like, you have someone that's not resisting. You have someone that's handcuffed on the ground with his hand behind his back and not resisting. And then you still kneeled an extra 6 minutes or so on that man and killed him.
3 people.
So now what excuse do you have for this death?
They
You can't
searching.
say my life was in danger.
Nope.
Can't say he had a gun.
Nope.
Can't say he cursed you out.
Nope. Nothing.
Nothing.
But they searching for a reason.
That's why it's taking so long.
And even I was talking to my dad about it, and he's in law enforcement. He was like, one thing you're trained in law enforcement is do whatever you got to do to take someone down. But once those cuffs are on, it's over.
It's over.
Game over. You're done. That's it.
That's it.
And then for the other cops that stood there, he's like, no, even if you're like, hey, get off his back, do that, because you got to write a report, and you,
Yep.
because everyone will suffer some type of consequence. That's what they know.
But see, when you're so used to getting away with murder or getting away with aggressive tactics because there's no real checks and balances, that's what you do. But now the world is the checks and balances now. These young people that are out there protesting is your checks and balances because someone is going to answer for this.
And as you discuss checks and balances, think about this officer's record. Think about the complaints against this officer. He had,
happened?
12 complaints
Yep.
that nothing happened?
Yep.
So, of course, he's going to feel like he could do whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
He's invincible.
That's like a spoiled
He can't be
child.
touched.
So
spoiled child.
so now we can't, as you said, and this is why we blame the system. We can't go just blame this officer because his boss's boss, whoever who's elected in that town, they all propagate this behavior.
Yep.
So why not do it?
Yep.
I can do it if I want. I see other people do it; they get away with it fine. So
All
why
over
not
the
do it?
country. You're right about that. And that's where we, the issue really is, and this is what everybody is saying, it's a systemic issue. Racism is one thing, but when racism is embedded in a system, racism is bad altogether. But when it's systemic, it's like a consistent beating up on a person. You're a bully at this point. And how do you stop a bully?
Beat them up.
Beat them up.
Thanks for you cleaned it up for me.
I didn't want to say that.
Right.
You know what? I got a story, and I've never told this person directly. Now he'll know if he listens to the podcast. But, I just posted something on Facebook about the 2 police cars who ran the people over, and he commented on it. So, a bunch of us and a bunch of my friends went back at him like, what are you saying? So, everybody want to know, is just a white man out the blue just jumping on your text? No, he's not out the blue. This is someone I've known since 2015. I worked for his company for about a year and a half before I quit. And his company still continued to hire me. But there was reasons why I left his company. All right? Him and his business partner. First, there was an incident happened where something went missing in the office, and I felt like the first person they looked at was me. And then the secretary forgot that she brought it home, right? It was another incident where we were talking about Trump, and the same idea. It was all about, so what? Trump is making us money. We're going to vote for Trump. And we talked about the social part. They didn't care. That was one thing. Another thing I noticed. And the third thing was, they hired someone, after I was there maybe about 8 months, they hired someone else to come in. And then it was another white person. And then they paid him more than me and wanted me to train him in how to do the job.
Wow.
So after that, after the kid told me how much he made, I said, you know what? I gave him my 2 weeks notice and I left. Now we're having this conversation and your thing is, I don't see color, all lives matter and all this, but you don't see what you're doing. You're indirectly treating my people bad.
They never see it.
But you don't see it. But you don't see color.
They never see
I
it.
hate I don't see color. You have to see color.
Jesus
we
saw-
all
the
see
God
color.
saw
You have to see color.
God created colors, so
Right.
he sees it.
It's okay. And it's okay to see them.
It's all right.
It's okay.
No,
Colors
that's
are
their
beautiful.
past. They just want to include everything.
No.
Include everybody. All lives matter.
I'ma
All
be
this
clear.
matter. If it mattered, why are we dying in the street?
I'm going to be clear. The Black Lives Movement or the Civil Rights Movement, this is not, and you can probably scratch me off with this one, this is not a gender movement. It's not. I say that again. It's not a gender movement. This is specifically for African Americans because we are the ones dying all the time. Those other movements, they have a lane. This isn't it.
For real.
Of course, all lives matter.
Obviously.
Your lives matter. You're not dying.
Exactly.
We're dying. So that's why we're saying Black Lives Matter, because we know on level 2 there's all lives, and then there's on level 1 there's Black lives. Black lives, we're just trying to get to level 2 next to all lives. That's what
That's
we're
it.
saying.
Right.
and have our
What's
children.
so hard to believe?
We just want to live.
That's it.
We always been wanting to live.
That's
Mind
it.
your business. Why can't people just mind their business?
We tried
You
to
wanna
mind
know,
our business.
I was listening to
We tried it.
something a few weeks ago, and the guy was saying one of the worst things to happen to Black people was integration.
I agree.
Financially is one of the worst things to happen.
Yep.
But also it made people feel like, okay, we have their acceptance.
Right.
When it's like, no.
No, you don't.
You don't. You still don't.
You still don't.
And you probably never will.
Well,
Stop looking for it. Stop
here's the
reaching
thing.
for it.
When we look at the movies, because one thing my father said to me when I was growing up, when I used to watch movies, it's just a movie. Sweetheart, it's just a movie. It's not real. But then there was an underlining piece to say that there is a piece in these movies that are real. Now, I say that to say because when I watched Rosewood, if you haven't seen that movie, take a look at it. And we're talking about a black community that is thriving.
On its own. Without the help of white people.
Okay, on its own in Florida. And I know this movie was a true story because my aunt didn't live too far from it. Aunt Millie. Okay, Aunt Millie. And when we finished watching the movie, it's myself, my Aunt Millie, and my mom. My aunt came out of the movie theaters crying. My mom was upset. She was pissed. But my aunt was crying because she remembered that story. She remembered it happening. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to give you a little clip. Affluent community with a doctor's office, a pharmacy, a corner store as we call it, but a market, a church.
We didn't need nothing from nobody is what we're trying to say. We know how to stand up on our own 2 feet and thrive. We always have, and we always
market,
will.
An ice cream parlor.
Okay.
A movie theater.
Okay.
Theater.
They didn't have theaters back then, but still, they was able to do stuff on their own, as my counterpart said. And a woman who was having an affair, a Caucasian woman who was having an affair on her husband with another one of his co-workers. He came home. She got caught with this man. Well, actually, he ran out like a scuzz bucket, but he ran out. And then she blamed it on a black man. I won't repeat the word she said, but she screamed it with the R, with the hard R. And then they said, well, we got to do something about this. And then they left and went out into this affluent town and ruined it.
They drank and got drunk first.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that.
They drank and got drunk first and rallied themselves up and was pretty much upset. It was a scene in there that pissed me off to no return. How he have a piano and I don't have a piano. That's the mentality that they have. And this is the reason why we can't thrive as a people in this country, because you're too worrying about what the hell we have from what we don't have.
Yes.
Why are you worrying about it? What, we ain't supposed to have it?
No.
So you destroy and burn everything down because you don't have a piano.
Well, in this case, it was a pretty much.
Yeah.
So they came, they ripped this community apart.
Because you uppity.
Had these people, had the children of the community hiding in the trees.
And the swamps.
In the swamps. How do you do that?
I can't fathom it, honestly.
Hiding. Then we take a trip to Black Wall Street, where communities, again, thriving, doing what they do, minding their own business. And just like my counterpart said, well, what they doing with that? And then here we go again. Bombed.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay?
They bombed the hell out of Philadelphia in the
Philly,
80s.
yep.
So you have no idea why the Midwest is upset? The Midwest has every reason to be upset, because every time they have taken steps forward to be self-sufficient and independent, some type of supremacists have come and got jealous and ruined it.
Well, you know, there's a plan in place for population control that we don't know about. You know what I mean? And that's why they're so upset, especially at the Latin community. That's why they want to build a wall. That's why they want to send certain people back, because they didn't expect the Latin population to be so huge in America. You know, they put a certain plan in to control Black Americans, and it has been working. As you say, our percentage as far as population stays the same or it decreases, you know, and then you have a subunit like the Latin community who comes in, and now the population continues to grow. And allegedly by 2050, they might be the majority.
Yeah.
Right?
will be.
So now the Latin community is quiet, pretty much. They don't make a lot of noise. They mind their business. But at a certain point, there will be an uproar.
Yes, they will.
And they are really afraid of that, because white America don't want to lose the majority.
Nope.
Because if they lose the majority, that means they feel like they're going to lose everything now. And they can't survive without their power.
Right.
They are the minority. Let's be clear. White folks are the minority. They really are.
The crazy thing is that, and I need my Latin Americans to also understand who they are.
Oh gosh.
and know
Ooh.
their origin.
This could. Whew.
Okay? You're not Caucasian. You're a part of us.
Whether you want to
some
believe
of them,
it or not.
About some of them,
because slaves were brought into these countries and we integrated. So yeah, they do share our blood, but at the same time, you are part of these Indian tribes, the Aztecs, the Senecas, the Cheyenne. All of you
The
guys,
Tayanos.
yes, all of you have a place in America, and I need you to understand that as well. That this fight is going to be brought to your door very soon, just as Just Music said. It may be predominantly a black issue at this point. Okay, that's all I got about that one. Keep it up. Thinking you not. Stop.
Listen. Paul Mooney said, everybody wants to be a nigga
Paul
until
Mooney.
it's time to be a nigga.
Yep. It's so
And that's
true.
what I'm going to say on that. Because
All
I
right.
can go real left.
We can go real left on that.
I could go real left. I can
Real
go
left.
deep.
Being
with
black is
that.
cool until it's time to
Until
be
it's-
black.
right.
It's true.
Right.
It's very true.
Love our music. You want to sag your pants.
love everything.
all
Or
of
I
that.
never see color until it's time to see color.
Or see, right?
It's a
And
damn
that's
shame.
the problem.
But I mean, as you guys are talking about, these incidents, and in general, what white America see. Like sometimes I have to take a step back, right? Because as Black Americans, our experience is different from white Americans. Our values are different. We're raised different. You know what I mean? So us as a people, we're always the lovable ones. We're always the ones that's going to have understanding. And in
Yeah.
any situation, even if we're hurting, we're crying, we're always going to be the one who have understanding and bring the love to the table.
Yep.
We're
Because
very forgiving people.
We're very,
Very,
forgiving people.
yeah.
Right?
Until we're not.
So as you think about the situation, sometimes I can't be mad at a white person. I can't be mad at you because some of them just don't know better. I mean, or some of them see the world based on, their upbringing, their values, and we see it completely different. And I can't get mad at you because of your vision and your education is different from mine. All right? So sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, all right, this person just don't get it. And we can feed as much information as we want. They just won't get it. And it could be ignorance. It could be education. Or it could be, I just don't give a fuck about it. Or I just care about my money, because that's a lot of white people in general. They're capitalists, so they care about money. They don't care about love, social, and all of that shit. They care about their pocketbooks. White men in general care about stuff in their bank accounts. And you can see that anywhere you go. And they fear the breaking of that mark. They
That's how
don't
you
want
lose
no
your
one to
soul.
get to that level because they want to control the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I can be mad at them because I can be mad at willful ignorance.
Yeah.
I think willful
hear that.
willful ignorance is because at this point, information is too accessible. It's too readily accessible for you not to know. And okay, if you don't know when someone is telling you, for you to still take that stance, it's a choice now.
Right. And that's
It's
the
a choice.
difference.
So for me, it's hard to be like to not be upset about it because it's like, right is right and wrong is wrong. It's real black and white for me with that. You can value your pockets and all that stuff, but you can still I value my pockets. This is still messed up. I ain't gonna do nothing about it, but I'm gonna worry about this money. But call a thing a thing. You don't have to
And don't
bring
get me
about
wrong.
change, nothing.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not mad, but I also, being angry, I also bring understanding to the
Yeah,
situation.
right,
Because if I don't bring understanding, this is going to be me getting my toolie and go crazy.
Yep.
All right. So I have to have a certain understanding because at the end of the day, if I don't understand, I have 2 kids to worry about.
Right.
If I don't understand, I will lose it over my kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's when I say values, it's just really me putting my mindset in a certain place that, yes, I'm angry, but at the same time, we have to keep pushing. We have to keep moving. We have to keep doing for ourselves because some people are just not going to help us with change.
But you know what the crazy thing is? We always gotta take the
High
high road.
all the time.
Always.
All the time.
From back then when they snatched our babies from our wombs after we just had them. And we have to nurse your baby. We have to be understanding. This is why these riots are not going away. Is because people are tired of being understanding. And I agree. We still have to keep a level head. some of us, all of us can't go out there and just go nuts.
Though we want to.
Though we may want to, but we still have to keep some civility about ourselves so the message can get out there.
I don't know, because sometimes I've gotten some great results by going nuts on people.
I mean,
You're right.
I've gotten some amazing results. People got the message clear.
Real
I mean, we gotta take the high road until we don't.
Right.
Until we don't.
And we will until we won't.
I think we at the won't.
I think we're at the won't right now.
To piggyback off of what Just Music was saying, though, like the part about I think we live in two totally different realities.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Black folks
Maybe
and
3.
white folks.
Yeah.
And I feel like white people be trying to force their reality upon us. No, we don't look at it that way. We weren't raised that way. We don't think that way. That's it. Stop trying to mesh our worlds because we clearly look at things completely different.
Because it is different
than how you look at things.
Yeah.
We have two totally different realities.
And we have different it's their fault that we have two totally
Thank
different
you.
realities. I'm like, y'all created this.
Thank you.
I'm like, how are you shocked? And oh my God, Tad, I don't know why this is you created this.
Some white people really think racism was over with.
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes, I've been reading. I'm a professional comment
yeah.
reader. Okay, yeah. A lot of people. I don't understand. Racism been over with years ago. Where? For who?
They don't think Karen is racist.
No,
Again,
they don't.
Two totally different realities.
No, they don't. They're like, it's her right. It's her right to say someone was attacking her in Central Park even though they weren't.
If you're lying, you don't have the right to lie.
Maybe she did feel attacked.
And now her life is ruined. Good for you. Good for you.
And they took your dog.
Right.
And they took the dog.
The poor dog. Like, I didn't even ask for this.
Like, I didn't even want to go with her. I was trying to go over there with that family. She took me.
But once again, you see the niceness of black people.
See?
Because what the black man do? He accepted her apology.
Yeah.
He didn't say, look, I felt endangered. I want you arrested. I want to press charges, because he had the platform to do it
He
after
sure
the video came out.
did.
All right. He didn't turn around and say, listen, you see her in my face. She's threatening my life. I felt threatened. I want her arrested. He didn't go there.
Didn't.
You know what I mean?
He didn't.
But
There's Martin Luther King right there.
And at the end of the day, she used her power.
Yep.
He didn't. She did. All right? Because
And it
they
sunk
walk
her
around
whole
stupid
life.
at the end of the day. But she knew.
She knew.
Once she said an African American man and I feel threatened,
Trigger.
she knew what that meant.
Trigger.
We call those buzzwords.
Right? She don't need a gun. All she needs is a phone call.
That's how privileged she felt.
Yep.
That's how privileged she
In
felt.
Central Park.
At the thought of a black man telling her to follow a rule.
Well, let's go deeper than that,
Because
y'all.
you're not supposed to be out there without your dog on a
Let's
leash.
go
In general,
deeper
you're
than
not
that.
supposed to tell me what to do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what it all boils down
Right.
to.
Right.
Hold on. That land that she was walking her little dog on was a black community before they made everybody leave. I believe it was called Seneca.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a black community that you felt shouldn't be there any longer, and you made sure people left. You probably bought up the property up underneath these people, and you made them leave. That is what Central Park is standing on. A black community.
Beautiful park, dark paths.
Beautiful with a dark past.
paths.
You can go in a lot of these little towns over here, whether it's in Long Island
Levitt
or the
town.
city, Levitt
Takes
town.
Bill.
That's a conversation in itself. You remember when we lived in Harlem and they had those 3 fires in those 3 buildings? How the fire jumped from one building to the
To
next?
another. Lies.
Oh, that just happened a couple weeks ago.
Lies.
But this is what I'm saying. And then you ship these people out, telling them you're gonna fix up the building and move them back. Guess
And
what?
you never do.
Now they're condos.
Yep.
Gentrification.
Gentrification at its finest with a
Because you-
Starbucks.
because you can't get them out of the buildings with rent control.
Nope.
You can't. So next thing you know, you
burn
pay
it
the
up.
fire department. You pay the city. Oh, let's just burn it down.
It's sad. Isn't it sad?
Chaos
This is
is
just
sad.
completely sad.
It's sad, but it's kind of like when someone shows you who they are,
You gotta
believe
believe
them.
'em.
And
Believe
they've
'em.
been showing who they were. This ain't new. There's nothing new
Under the sun.
Under the sun.
And that's what I'm saying. People, you have to start reading. You guys, even the children who are in school, parents, encourage your children to read about history because everything is in
Encourage,
plain
make
sight.
them.
Well, that too.
Make them.
True. Throw the book.
But you know what they do, man. Look, we are culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we take over a place like Manhattan, Harlem, we create a certain culture, a certain dynamic, and it turns into profit. Now they come in and kick us out and take the profit.
And take it.
Right?
As usual.
We're going to move somewhere. We're going to move to West Bumblefuck, New York.
What, Nova
and they're going
Scotia?
to come still find us there because guess what? We're going to turn wherever we are into profit because that's what we do. And we have to figure out our power.
Yep.
That's the other thing with us.
We
have
been
to
had
That's
that
what it
power.
is.
Not realizing that they love the culture, they're gonna come and do it. The culture's gonna be going, and they're gonna be whack because they have no culture. Their culture is whack.
Wiggity, whack.
Whack.
Like Chris Cross.
They don't have no seasoning. They don't have no Lowry's.
Like on a chicken.
no Old Bay.
Shoot. Nasty chicken. No, nasty pink chicken.
boil that shit in water.
Boiled chicken.
Pepper on it.
Calling it a casserole. Get that out of here. Shoot.
Putting peas and macaroni and cheese.
Throw the dish in the garbage.
Apples and potato salad. My uncle did that. Pissed me off.
Oh.
Pissed me off. I bit into it. I was like, what kind of potato?
Stop doing it. Potato salad is not supposed to be crunchy.
Right. It was an apple. What's going on right now? Your friend isn't calling you to see if you're okay or liking a status or something. They're just remaining silent. There's an issue.
I was in
Even if
tears.
you're picking up the phone and saying, I don't know what
Yeah.
to say, I don't know what to do, but are you okay?
Yeah, it's not like they have to pick a side.
No.
We're not forcing them
No.
to pick a side. Just call you, as you said. Give me
Yeah.
a phone call. Are you okay? I see what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get too in depth in the conversation. Because we get it. You don't want to look like a sellout to your
Right.
white compadres. But check in
Well,
on
my
people.
friends didn't give a rat's damn.
Oh, yeah.
Because they put the Facebook post up and I was in tears and they sent out virtual hugs and things like that. And I commented, I said, no, I'm not okay. I'm not. I said, I always have to hide things behind my smile because they always ask me, you smile so much. You always smile. I said, well, why should I frown? Whatever it is that I'm thinking of or going through, typically you can't really help me. So I'm going to just smile through it and get through my day. But my friends did send a message to me of love. And I felt it at the bottom of my heart. I was in my bed. So I'm like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Because it was a sweet, sweet gesture. And it wasn't half-assed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was genuine because I know these women.
Right.
And they don't play no games with fake stuff. That's just who they are. And I totally appreciate what they said and the gesture they gave to not just me, but to everybody who was feeling this. And that's what we're talking about. Having compassion. If the face was different, you would want the whole world to cry with you.
If a black cop had his knee on a white man for a second,
Child, you wouldn't have found his body.
Girl, he would have been in jail underneath the jail tomorrow.
If you would have found him.
no bond.
If you would have found him.
That's the double standard that we're marching and protesting for.
And that's the issue.
These are the things that we're marching and protesting for that people clearly don't see. They don't see the big picture.
Right.
They
Let's
don't
make
see
it even simpler. If it was a black cop with his knee on a black man's neck that killed him, that black cop would have been in jail already.
Of course.
And everybody
Arrested
around
the
him would have
same
been
day.
arrested the same
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Because it's a black man going to jail. They don't care which one.
It probably wouldn't have went on the news, actually.
It
That
had to
probably
take
wouldn't have-
burning things down for 4 days for you to even get an arrest.
Yeah.
When clearly 20 million people saw the same video that all of us in here saw.
But that's my whole thing when people are like, this is not the way to do it. I'm like,
How else are we supposed to do it?
I'm like, look at the response it got from, if the police station wasn't set on fire, he'd be home being protected by the squad because they were all surrounding his home.
And so were the protesters.
Right. They were all surrounding his home. So they needed to burn the police station
Well, we
down.
tried to
'Cause
do it
that happened
peacefully.
the next day. He was arrested.
We tried to do it peacefully. Colin Kaepernick tried to do it
We've been
peacefully.
doing peaceful things for 400 years.
You know, that's another thing. I need people to stop talking about Martin Luther King.
Ooh.
Oh, he was peaceful, and it's like y'all don't know the whole story.
They
Y'all
killed
don't
him
know.
too.
Y'all don't know his whole life. You only know what they tell you in first grade, second grade, fifth grade. That is a story to
And
make
that's the only
white
person
people
you
feel
talk about.
comfortable.
Yes.
Because his life, his thoughts and views changed, which is why he was assassinated. Because he became more radical. So stop spewing this false history about Martin Luther King. Read a book.
Read a book.
Exactly.
Read a book. Read a book.
And
Well,
this is
Because he wasn't walking in the sunset, holding arm in arms with everybody. That's not the case.
But this is also why they won't even celebrate Malcolm X in school, because he told us
He was bout it.
to take care of our homes.
well, then
I mean, it
I'm
was
about
a
to say
radical view.
I'm about to say, but his views also switched.
It did
Towards the end, too.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, because he never.
But can
he
I
di-
love me a Malcolm X?
He didn't know that. Well, let's talk about Malcolm X, right? Where he came from, he only saw certain things until
Right.
he took the pilgrimage
Right,
to
right,
Mecca,
right.
and that's what changed his views about people in Islam and the multiculturalism that is embedded in Islam. That's what changed his view, was his pilgrimage. But that's what we're asking everybody else to do, though.
Right.
Take the journey to understand. That's what he did, and that's why his views changed.
But I think the
I do
reason why
agree with the picture.
people go to Martin Luther King is because they only know that one portion. So it's just a matter of
Nonviolent.
this makes, and I'm like, that was done by design, because that's the story that makes people feel comfortable. Just like they leave out that part of Malcolm X, because let's paint him as this horrible man
This
that wanted
radical,
all white
thug.
people dead, and that's what it. But it's just like, stop using historical figures if you don't know the facts.
Exactly.
Tell the whole story.
Well, they've been
And y'all
using-
still kill them anyway. I don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. Point blank and period. Because unless you are my skin color, unless you have brothers and friends and everybody else that's of color, I don't want to hear nothing that you have to say, because everything you have to say right now is, oh, well, what was he doing? And was he following the rules? And was he doing that? I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. We all saw what happened. This man lost his life on camera. Called for his mother. Did his mama come and see him? That's what I want to know.
His mama died 2
His
years ago.
mother died 2 years ago, but the
Spiritually.
fact that he called his mother, did she come and get her son? These
it
are
the
the things that I
anniversary?
think about.
Yeah.
Did he
These
die
are
on
the
the
things I
anniversary?
think about.
I think he did. I think he did. Now we going spiritual now.
Yo, it's just too much. I told him at work that I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
Let me be in my feelings, and you be over there still asking questions. Well, I don't understand what happened. Well, what happened? I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, stay over there not knowing what's going on. You
It was
never
on TV,
do.
like-
You never do. When it comes to black
All
issues,
day.
you never know what's going on.
Right.
Google. It's
Until
free.
we burn shit down.
CNN.
Then you know what's going on.
24/7.
It's on repeat
24/7.
over and
These
over
people are
again.
ridiculous, and they
The excuse of I don't understand and I don't know what's going on.
they don't want to.
No.
Until you clobber their ass over their head, then they understand. Oh, I get it now.
Like the man who had the bow and arrow talking about I was just sitting there in my car with the window rolled down
with two black African Americans. Black African Americans.
It's an oxymoron, you moron.
Yo, the dude got clobbered with a skateboard.
And a flying kung pao punch.
Like, people that look
what
just
were you
like
doing
you?
that would make you think, you know what? Let me go out and bring my bow and arrow. Like,
But that's a bow and arrow you hunt with.
Right.
What were you doing? You was trying to kill somebody. Here we go again.
And that's the major problem that we're dealing with. The lies and then believing the lies. If that wasn't on video, he would have got...
A lot
They
of
would have
people
thought
killed.
2 African Americans,
Americans.
and they would have went out looking for 2 African Americans. They
And they
could have
probably would've
picked up any
anybody.
2 black people,
Anybody.
and that would have been a problem.
Any two
if
young
that was no
boys,
video.
probably.
And that's the problem with our police, even our policing. Like, they will lie and support each other and get away with it no matter what, because you can't go against the police.
Nope.
The
And
police
this is
is
why
way
things
too
are burning
powerful.
now.
So you know what I mean?
biggest-
Internally,
man, listen.
those cops that's standing there, out of those 4, there could have been 1 good cop. What would happen if he said something?
Yup. He
He
would have
would've-
caught backlash.
Yep,
He
he
would
would
have
have
caught
got
it.
fired and lost all his pension, everything, retirement,
Or-
and everything.
Or you wouldn't have been able to find him because something would have happened to
Yep.
him while on duty. Get out of
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. So it's just now is just police is too powerful in this country. All right. And now, how do you manage that?
Well, the police ain't nothing but slave catchers from back in the day.
Yep.
Catching slaves with the Fugitive Slave Act, traveling from Mississippi all the way to New York to go find somebody. Really? If it was me, I would have been like, just gone, because I'm not going.
Exactly.
You're too far. If you had to run that far, I think you deserve to be free.
You know what? This is just all they stuff coming home to roost. This is they chickens coming home to roost, and I hope all of them get punched in their face in the process. That's just how I feel.
So to the white person listening, though, to the white person listening who says violence is not the answer, rioting is not the answer, burning stuff down is not the answer.
Take your own advice.
Help us find out what the answer is. What is the answer,
What
Mr.
is
White
it?
Man? How do we solve this problem? Because 30 years ago with Rodney King, violence wasn't the answer. But did anything change in 30
Nope,
years?
because they still ain't arrest
we're
nobody
still here doing the same thing, right?
Over and over again.
And that was violent.
That was very violent.
They took them Billy clubs to his behind.
And you matching, we're just matching your energy.
So don't get
We're
mad.
matching your energy.
Exactly.
But this
It's
person
okay for the
reported
KKK
had
to go
a
burn houses
scam
down
report.
and burn crosses on people's property. It's okay for the KKK to do that. It's okay for the cops to be violent towards black people. But,
okay for white-
let us loot a Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So it's okay for white supremacists to go to the capitals with all their guns, and take over the capitol,
Nothing.
and no cops show up, and that's fine.
Where did they?
All right, but it's not okay for a black man to even watching this video the other day. These two black kids who were crossing the street, and this cop said they were jaywalking and pretty much arrest these kids.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Jaywalking.
It's not okay.
I jaywalk all the time.
When they showed videos of white people crossing the street all day jaywalking, cops crossing the street all day jaywalking, but as soon as two black kids did it, it was a crime.
An arrest?
An
At
arrest.
that?
And they wonder why things are burning down today.
Fire. Yeah.
You
That's
don't
why.
get it, people.
People
We
are
need y'all to
angry.
get it.
You know,
Get it.
so as podcasters, we're in the room. I'm in the room with these young ladies, very educated young ladies, and you know that's what we want to reach out to the world. Like, how do we solve this problem, white people?
What do you want us to do?
You seem to have all the answers,
Right. Help
You know what I mean?
us figure
When
it
a
out.
terrorist attack you, you drop a bomb on them.
Ooh.
But it's not okay for us to, fight back when we're attacked for 400 years. That's a problem.
400.
But I think that's the problem because I got into this conversation with a girl I know, and she was just like, my husband is black, my kids are black, like I invest into the black community, and I'm like, great, all that's cool, whatever.
Wonderful.
Does absolutely nothing for this issue. What does that do? It's letting you know I support you. That's not, we don't need this. We're not the ones with the issue. We don't need the support
monetarily.
So y'all need to go to them.
Monetary.
Y'all need to be hosting forums and speaking to. It's their issue. You need to be
Right.
addressing them. You filtering money into our community does nothing for the fact that a white man killed a black man.
No. One has nothing to do with the other. Has nothing to do with the other. We're talking about being humane, about not being barbaric.
Because if you can go in and
I ain't
say,
gonna even preach it
I
today.
support you and I understand you, but once that but comes into play, there's an issue.
Because but
it should be
negates.
period.
Right.
Period.
Because what does but do? English language people?
It negates what you just said.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and also y'all need to really stop saying this whole thing about black on black crime for multiple
yes.
reasons. One, that doesn't exist. Two, it has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, all race kill each other.
Right. All races kill each other. One thing, all you're doing is justifying this when you use that argument. Because you can be an upstanding citizen, all that stuff, and still get killed. This guy at Central Park, Harvard graduate.
Okay.
Harvard graduate.
The bird watcher? The bird watcher.
He was watching birds and he graduated from, most of us can barely tell a pigeon from a
From a red robin.
from
We
a
don't even
red
know the color.
robin.
We're a red robin. You mean a
The
restaurant?
difference between a seagull and a
That's a
goose.
damn
Okay. Majority of us never even stepped foot on Harvard's campus.
Okay. I ran there. Thank you.
So to talk
I ain't
about
never been to
what
Central
black on
Park.
so to talk about what black on black crime, no, because this guy was from Harvard, bird watching, actually enforcing a rule that was set in place and was still disrespected. erasing black on black will not gain us any respect from these people that do not see us as human beings that did not see us as human beings in the first place.
Yeah.
And probably never will. We need to just stop wilding for respect.
Well,
That's what we need. We need to stop trying to seek validation and respect
I
from
agree
these
with
people.
that.
There
I
you
agree
are.
with that.
That's what we need to stop.
As my father go, there you go.
I agree with
There
that.
you
We
go.
need to stop. That's
Because
that's
they'll
our
never
issue. They'll
respect
never
us.
respect us.
They will never respect us.
Right.
All I want is for you to leave me alone.
That's
Right.
it. Mind your business. Live and let live.
I'll be all right in my lane. I don't necessarily want to come into your community. I don't.
Yeah, I don't care what's going on in your lane.
Unless you got the best avocados, I'm gonna come shop over there. But
It's like one thing my mother told me when I was little, like when I was able to start going to birthday parties and stuff like that. If someone don't invite you to their birthday party, don't ask them for an invitation.
ooh, no,
That's
never. Ooh,
Don't
no.
ask them. You ain't invited.
You're not
It ain't for
invited.
you.
That's it.
Chill at home.
Simple.
Stop trying to get an invitation.
Kudos to the white Americans out there getting
Yes.
ran over by police cars
Whoa.
and getting beat up by police and in the deep fight with us. Kudos to them, because at the end of the day, we can't do it alone.
Right.
They're not going to listen to our voices because, as you said, we've been speaking for 400 years and we've been speaking on deaf ears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I think we need to just separate.
and then we try to separate.
We tried
Even if
it.
we separate,
Let's
they'll
go
come.
back.
They'll come.
We tried.
Like-
Marcus Garvey tried to get us to go to Africa. What they do? They bankrupt him, tax evasion, sent him back home to Jamaica broke.
Like
He tried to get us back home.
I'm like, just let us live. You
That's
ain't gotta
it.
like us, love
That's
us. You ain't
it.
gotta.
That's
you
all
don't
we
really
want.
gotta interact with us.
Mind your business and live your life. Stop worrying about what we doing.
There's no money in that. There's no money in just letting us live.
Yeah.
There's no money in keeping prisons closed.
So at
Right.
the end of the day, it's all about the almighty.
$1.
I mean, yeah, it's been that way. That's
the
why
thing
we came
is-
here. That's
It's
why
not
we
just the dollar, it's the dollar and the power.
Dollar
We've
for
always been about that, as you said. We came here because of the dollar.
What's going on in these police stations? Are you making quotas? Are you telling these police officers to make quotas or commit murders? They're taking it to the way left now.
I think they're telling them to make quotas, but I think like you have people in the police force that have a God complex.
Yeah.
That take it a step further.
And look, with any job, everyone wants to go home to their families, right? But police officers can't use that as an excuse.
No.
You signed up for this job.
Yep.
You are well trained for this job. Well trained.
well trained.
You have all the tools and equipment for this job. So you're saying out of nowhere, the first thing I can do is grab my gun and shoot? Are
Shoot
you
to
not
kill
trained to
at that.
talk somebody down?
No.
They are.
Are you not trained to stop some
They are
crazy
trained.
person?
You wouldn't think so.
No, they
I mean,
are trained.
They
I know.
trained when it comes
They
to a
ch-
white
it's a
person,
choice. They
but when a
choose,
black
yeah.
when it's a black person, it's shoot them quick.
I'm saying no because
Like,
they
what
choose
was the name
not
of that
to use
child?
their
Was it
training.
Tamir Rice?
Yeah, Tamir, and then Trayvon was totally
That was one of the saddest things I've seen. It's a freaking drive-by. They literally just rode past and shot the kid.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're not trained? You're telling me when you got a phone call, you didn't know someone said a black kid or black child. What was it, 12 or 14 years old or wherever that was?
12.
So you're telling me you're not trained to pull up, say, 50 yards away, see this child, figure out what he's doing, talk him down, whatever we have to do. We're trained professionals.
But you're even trained
do
to
your
find
job as a
shelter.
professional.
When you in battle, you are trained to find shelter. You don't have to
That's
just
what I'm
openly
saying.
shoot.
You have all the tools in the world, and yet a civilian can't make a mistake.
Well, not exactly, not if you're black, because a 17-year-old or a little kid that went and sprayed down the school and killed all them people with that assault rifle, they took his ass to Burger King. Okay, didn't even throw his face into the ground. They're putting no knee in his neck.
They didn't even call him a name.
Okay, but you take his ass to Burger King like it's all good. Did they get him a Happy Meal?
Oh, it's okay.
What was it? It was that kid that went in the church.
I don't know who the hell it
They
was.
probably went and thanked him.
Okay, I don't know who it was. But
And-
that's the point. What? Why?
And the church welcomed him in.
I don't know what it is about us, but we the junk.
I haven't heard
Okay,
that in a
we're
long
the
time.
junk.
Junk.
Trying to keep my profanity down. Because Lord knows I want to go off.
The legal system has to change.
It does.
Definitely.
It does.
Judicial
And
system is
that's the
bull
root.
crap right
That's the
now.
root cause of all these issues now.
Exactly.
But that's what the Constitution, that's what all these policies that was put into place before they even, before slavery was abolished.
And us as people, man, we have to do better, and not voting when it's time to vote in the president, but we have to make noise when there's a congressman, when there's a representative. Like, these people are the one, as you notice now, Congress holds all the power, right? The Senate holds all the power, but they're Republican, and Trump has them on a stick, just shaking them. Just do what I tell you to do.
Some of us voted them in,
and we voted them in.
This is not the time for, especially this election, it's not the time for you to catch an attitude and decide to stay home. Don't do that stupid nonsense.
Because I know Biden.
Don't do
says
it.
some crazy stuff.
It was distasteful. Absolutely.
He wasn't wrong,
He
though.
wasn't
but
lying.
It
He
was
just
in
got too
poor
comfortable.
taste.
He was too comfortable.
But he was
by
right.
it.
But he was right.
He was right.
But, you know, I see a lot of people saying, because he said that, I'm not voting at all, because I ain't voting for Trump, and I ain't voting for him, and I'm just like, come on,
people
this is
are too
why
sensitive,
we're in
man.
this.
Yep.
People are too sensitive.
So
Social media got people too damn sensitive.
Hypersensitive.
Everything is problematic.
Everything is a controversy. Like, it's not.
Just vote.
I'm like, he wasn't wrong.
Yo, stay inside for right now so you don't get locked up or killed so you can go vote. Please? We need your vote. What are we saying, guys, you know, just to wrap it all together, is that at this point in time, when you see the riots on TV, just understand it's out of frustration of centuries of abuse, post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic slave disorder. There's a lot of pain within the Black community, a lot of pain that you wouldn't even be able to wrap your head around.
Also, when you see the riots and the fires on TV, know that there's groups that's formed. That's sitting and waiting for people like us to riot, so they can go start looting or start breaking windows and starting fires, so they can change the conversation.
Yes, that's
and
what it's
blame
about.
it on us like they always do.
Always blaming something on us.
Educate yourself, people. Educate yourself out there and realize what's going on. Wake up and realize what's going on.
Understand that people have been lying on Black folks for a long
centuries.
time.
And we
Just
know
lying.
we know how the media work.
Yeah.
They're gonna cover what makes them money. So they're gonna switch right to looting and right to fires, because that's their money. That's what the Caucasians will watch on TV.
Yeah. All right. So everything you read about a Black person that's bad is not always true. Think that it's a lie first before they lying. I mean, that's what we saying when we're watching the news and something happens and we see it's a Black person that got arrested. I'm like, that's a lie. That's a lie, because there's been a historical trail of lies,
All the time.
and that's one of the major issues.
I'm like,
is
I don't
lying.
care if a Black person murdered someone, whatever. There's still no reason for him to die in police custody. There's no reason.
There's no reason for it.
I don't care if he slapped somebody's mother with a fish.
That stinks.
Okay,
And it hurt.
That don't mean you die in
Can you
police
imagine?
custody.
Yeah,
there's no reason for that to happen. Once the cuffs are on, you just take them in and let the justice system work however it's going.
And it's going to work in your favor. So what's the problem?
That's what I don't understand. I'm like,
Word, he's gonna be in jail working for you
Right.
for 5 cents an hour.
right. I just
Again, we just ask you guys to have compassion for what took place in the lives, the senseless murders. We're talking centuries of deaths, wrongful deaths of family members, you know, wrongful deaths over nothing.
And no prosecutions.
And we're the only ones that are dying like this. And that's blatant. We're the only ones that are losing our lives like this, whether we resist arrest or not.
And no one goes to jail.
And no one
That's
goes to
another
jail.
reason why we're marching, because no one is prosecuted.
Yeah.
No one has paid the price. No one has gone to jail. No one has done anything. So you really expect us to sit down and be nonviolent?
Yeah, we're not looking for a sorry or an apology.
We're not
from
looking
you.
for anything. We're looking for justice.
We looking for jail time.
Okay?
Hard jail time.
we looking to just live.
That's it.
That's all we want to do. Mind your business and we'll leave you. Leave us alone.
Live and to get our share of what is due to us, which is to live our lives,
Can't just live.
work, and raise our families. That's the only thing we're asking to do. That's it. So for those of you who are listening, these are our demands with WAGNN. Leave us alone. Let us work. Let us live. And let us raise our families. And those of you who do understand what's going on, you know, we thank you and we appreciate you. And please keep on with the struggle along with us of fighting for rights of Black people and making sure that we have the right to live and live our lives prosperously. You know, so we thank those who are out there with the good fight, but also just know, to those of you out there, there are people who are infiltrating these protests just to change the conversation, and we refuse to allow that to happen. Henceforth, while we're having this episode, so this episode isn't for everybody. It's not.
It really isn't.
If you're sensitive about black and white, I suggest you should have turned us off a long time ago. But those of you that are willing to, who wants to know what's going on with us and how we feel, you have it.
It's not our job to comfort white people through this. It's their turn to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of you are.
Be a blessing. Be a blessing. Be a blessing.
What you got?
Live, laugh, and love.